Wednesday, September 20th, 2023, 6 p.m. Calling the Board of Health meeting to order. Is anyone recording this meeting? LakeCAM is recording this meeting, and I see no one is recording this meeting. We have a request to move item 3 on the agenda to number 1. Do we have any objection from Zenith or SFG? All right, thank you. All right, so first on the agenda will be item 3.8, Keith Ave, meet with Outback Engineering, discuss local upgrade approvals.
And you must have some pull here.
Basically, it's a septic system, reducing, or it's a upgrade, instead of 5-foot separation, because we had less than 2, to a 4-foot separation, 4.1. If we have to go any higher than that, we're gonna have to pump it, and this is all gravity, comes from the house all the way down. So basically, a local upgrade for groundwater separation.
And that's it, right? Just
That's
one
it.
local?
That's it.
I figured when they sent the big guns in, there was some like some
No,
stuff going on here.
I don't have anything on this.
I'm fine with it.
No, I'm fine with it. I looked at the elevations of the topo where the perk was taken and they match to the water table. There's not a slope or anything going down, and it's not like a perched water table like some of the other ones that come in. There's no water flowing just below the B layer. They just did the perk down 11 feet with no water even present. Models at 84. This one, the water would actually come up because it's all sand. It's not like it's flowing like on some of the other ones. It actually had come up from the ground up.
And that's the only place the system can go, because you get the wells all the way around.
The wells are all around it, and your septic tank's so far away because 50 feet
Yep.
to that one.
I feel like this isn't the first time we've had one of these open that meeting too.
No.
And it's going in the same exact spot as the old system, because like
Yep.
you said, it's the only way to put it. To avoid a pump,
I'm fine with it.
I don't think
It should be better than the old system, because it was
that restrictive.
restrictive land.
We're gonna take that out
there, and they're gonna pull that out, so it should be.
That's probably what it helped failed.
Right.
It's failed a couple of them in that neighborhood, I believe. Even up on Lincoln Street, I think we had that same layer.
Anybody got a comment?
Yeah. Anyone else?
I'll make a motion, we approve the one local at 8 Keith Ave.
Second?
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Thanks,
Good
Chuck.
job.
I was nervous when I saw you. They sent the big guns in. I thought for sure there was something that I was gonna, get in an argument with you over.
Good to you, Bob.
Have a good one, buddy.
All right, next on the agenda is 22nd Ave, meet with Zenith Consulting Engineers to discuss requested variances.
Good evening, Jamie Besnet, Zenith Consulting Engineers. We have a proposed tight tank in front of you tonight. We have 3 variances. One is we're looking for a reduction to the pond. 2, what used to be known as the Astro Water Supply public well is across the street. We need a reduction because we're because we're too close to that. And then we also have the 12-inch invert to high groundwater. There's really nothing we can do about all 3 of those items. We've placed it in an area that seems to make the most sense. We're outside of the 50 feet for each abutting well. And so I'd be happy to entertain any questions or concerns.
It's a tight tank.
Yeah, it's
Nothing's
tight.
going in the ground. I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, it's pretty
This
simple.
neighborhood, the wells, all the stuff you just talked about, and it is a tight tank, so yeah, my only thought would be is, if and it looks like there may be some room to put a future system if they decided to also down the road. probably advanced treatment.
Oh, I would think.
Actually, probably definitely advanced treatment.
Yeah, the soil's really lousy too.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons why they.
It's a tight tank, nothing's going in the ground, so
And
I'm
look,
good with it.
looks like the demo in the house
They are,
and
so
the garage and
we
building a
went to
new one.
zoning board, got a special permit to take the existing house down. They're gonna build a new dwelling, same number of bedrooms. I know Ed's gotten the plans on that house already. So we've been through the special permit process. But yeah, it is, and they're taking down part of the garage, so we'll meet the setback on that.
So it's gonna be it was a 2-bedroom, it's gonna continue to stay a 2-bedroom with a tight
That's
deck.
correct. Yep.
The only other question I had was, that local reg we have, the deck footings, sonotubes is 5-foot minimum.
Yep.
Looks pretty tight, that deck scale's almost 8 feet, you only got 12 to the tank, only gives you 4.
Mm-hmm.
We're supposed to be 5.
Yeah,
Just- Isn't that our local reg, Ed? Don't
Yes, it is.
it is, yeah.
I scaled it,
You're right, it's gonna,
So it's 4 to the edge, but a lot of times they do put the, you know, the columns a foot in, so that you could do it and just kind of cantilever it out. It's not actually shown on here,
yes.
but
yeah, if you put a carrier.
the edge of the deck is 4, so you would have to go 1 foot in. So it's possible to do, but
Makes
just, we
sense.
could just, like I said, make a note that that's,
Yeah,
make sure they do it
just so
that
it's
way.
not,
I think that's reasonable on the plan, just put a note, make sure that the
That they know that.
footings- Yeah, exactly,
yeah, you gotta be 5 foot from the deck footings if it's not a cantilevered deck.
exactly. I don't wanna be back for an after the fact, especially for that.
And the only other thing, I was just looking at where the groundwater was to top a tank, if you're gonna ask for those poured in riser pieces.
We are, that's on the spec, so it's the typical spec. I know you and I have been over before, the butyl tape,
Yeah,
the waterproofing,
thing,
the monolithic seal,
yeah,
and the risers poured in,
poured
cause
in.
you see the problems when you don't do it the
With
right
it,
way.
correct.
Yep.
Okay, that's all our questions I had.
Oh, I'm good with it.
Ed, you have anything else?
No, I don't.
Anybody else want to speak to this? I see no one.
All right, so we don't need another one for the footings, they're just gonna cantilever it, so,
We'll move it a foot further.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll make a motion, we approve the 3 variances for 22nd Ave.
Second?
Any more discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, thank you. Have a good night.
Jamie, I don't know if you're interested, I should have just told Jeff too. We're gonna have that conversation about changing one of the regs if you're interested to hang around for a couple of minutes.
Oh, sure.
Jeff had another meeting, that's why he was.
Oh, okay, that's why we bumped him up first?
Yeah, he has to go to another town, but
Okay.
6:30 or something.
All right. Next on the agenda is.
Well, I think he's on this meeting, not that. I think he's.
Same goes to you after you were talking about changing a reg if you have any interest.
I might sit down a little bit.
All right, next on the agenda is 16 Violet Street, meeting with SFG Associates, discuss local upgrades.
Good evening, Steve Gilbert, SFG. We're looking to repair a septic system on a 5,000 square foot lot on Violet Street. We're looking for local upgrades to property line setbacks. Fortunately, we don't have any wells to deal with, so it's just property line setbacks. Very limited room on this lot, obviously. It's only 50 by 100. We're looking for an upgrade for 5 feet for the septic tank to the abutting property. 5 feet also from the leaching area to the abutting property. Fortunately, the abutting property is vacant land. And these are both improvements on the existing cesspool that's less than 5 feet from the abutting property right now. We're also looking for upgrades to keep the septic tank 5 feet from the dwelling and the leaching area 14 feet from the dwelling. The last upgrade we're looking for is to allow for 1 deep hole instead of the required 2 perk tests. Again, this is all because of limited areas.
Yeah, I didn't see. There's not much you can do out here on this
Yeah.
one.
So looking at your letter, it says you have, I think there's 5 total variances because it says A, B, B, and then K. So
Yeah, there's 5, yeah. 2 A's, 2 B's, and a K is 5.
I was
You
just
got it.
adding them
You're
up.
right.
I just
You're
wanted to
right,
make
Bob.
sure, I just want to make sure I was like, am I missing something
No,
here?
no, you got it. I want to see if it's the same thing, yeah, it's the same thing on the plan too.
What was that, addition? Is it a proposed addition? Is that what that is?
No, it's just an existing addition with a crawl space.
Okay, but, so
Yeah.
it's already there, so you're
Yes,
not
yeah,
adding
yeah.
anything.
Yep.
And the only, one I had on this one probably is just, there's no room for error or wiggle room. There's exact 5, exact 10, you don't have a variance that way. You asked for exactly 5 to a 14 to a crawl. So without staking it, it's not knowing where that property line is, just for a heads up, whoever does it. that
Yeah, he's probably gonna have me stake it,
It's gonna,
Yeah.
I don't see how you could do it
without staking it.
without staking it and not coming back for another after the fact, because
Right.
6 inches in the wrong
Right.
direction.
Yeah, I'd rather give you a couple inches now than have you come back if you think you need it, but.
If they stake it, it fits.
Yeah, they're gonna want us to stake it, I'm
I
sure,
mean,
so,
If you have put
Yeah.
4 points, it's
Okay.
just it's when they don't get things staked. And then obviously that property line on the back where that sewer clean out is, it looks like you have 2 feet from the deck to the
it's very
outside
tight,
shower to
it's
that.
very tight, yep,
So, you know, obviously
he's
wanna
gonna
make
have to
sure
hand dig that,
that's on the property too.
yep.
Did they try to buy that lot?
I'm not aware of that, to be honest with
Okay.
you. I mean, they're selling,
I believe they did try
Yeah,
to
I would
do
assume
it,
so.
but the person didn't want to sell.
And I have no, I mean, obviously it doesn't meet nitrogen loading. We're talking a 5,000 square foot lot with 2 bedrooms. But that's a no.
No, nothing you can do.
So I'm okay with that. I have no other, I didn't see anything else.
Anyone else want to speak to this? See no one?
I think I missed it on the last one. Should we have done a deed restriction on that, or do we automatically do that?
I think that's on the plan.
That's
Yeah,
on the
it's on
plan?
the
Yeah,
Okay.
I only mention it if it's not on the plan.
Oh, all right. So we don't have to add it on this?
No, it's on.
All right, I'll make a motion then that we approve the 5 variances for 16 Violet Street, A, B, B, and K.
Second?
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
thank you,
Aye.
gentlemen, have a good night, I gotta run.
Have a good one.
Next to the agenda is 7 Hollis Ave, discuss removal of seasonal deed restriction.
Hello, good evening, members of the board. My name is Nicholas Combs. I'm an attorney from New Bedford, and today I'm representing Chris Chapin regarding the 7 Hollis Avenue project. This is a approximately 200-foot water extension in the Clark Shores Association property. We're before you today asking for the seasonal deed restriction to be lifted to allow for annual full year-round use. The client has worked with the Clark Shores Water Association as well as the Clark Shores Association themselves to get the necessary approvals of this extension. The water is currently turned on. There's been no issues. There was an as-built performed by Zenus Consulting Engineering indicating the work that was done. Also additionally a construction report that I do have copies of to present to you today. Basically, we're just asking for the restriction to be lifted so that someone can make this their new home. Thank you.
So we have documentation, everything was turned
Yep,
in?
we received the as-built already. We don't have the construction report, it's not required, but yes, if you
Yeah,
have a
I have
copy, I
several
would like
copies.
one. And we do have confirmation from Clark Shores Water that they did connect and are connected and paid.
So they've done everything we've asked.
Done everything with us.
And they did decommission the old well?
Thank you. They
We
did
have
that
it
as well.
certified?
Yep, that was part of the old plan, actually.
Okay, so
That was-
the
that was-
septic's done and
Yep.
everything is, thank you. So this will just make it a permanent year-round, as year-round water and a new septic with a treatment system?
Yes, the well is completely decommissioned and it's switched over to this new water line.
So I've done everything we've asked.
I don't have anything else to add. On you, Bob.
Nope, I'm good.
Anybody?
And Ed, you have anything more to add? No. Anyone else have anything to add? Nope.
Is this the new form that they will be recording? Is this from us?
The deed, yeah. So it's basically the same deed, we're just taking.
Yeah,
off
I see the 2 pages, so
Yeah.
this actually came from our office, so they'll just re-record this?
Yeah, Without the deed restriction.
Without, yeah, this is the original that is recorded, and he's gonna change it to this wording. Did you see that, Chris, everybody?
Yeah, I read
It
it.
just removes this,
I got it right here.
and the removal of season, so I'm fine with it.
I'm good with it.
You can do this one.
I make a motion to approve the removal of the seasonal deed restriction at 7 Hollis Avenue.
I'll second that.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you. All right, next on the agenda is Lawrence Waste Services, new commercial trash hauler. Ed?
Yeah, so they're actually subbing out from Waste Management. I guess they had some issues, Waste Management had some issues with staffing problems, so they're just, subbing out Lawrence, Waste Services, and they started, doing it. So they've submitted all their paperwork, everything's in line, they're a well-established company, they just.
Now, do we still have all these people paying the permit fees for all the customers they have in town?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's easier to get through the dumpster people than the actual.
Oh, yeah, that was one of the first things I dug into years ago. Every day I'd go in there and ask everybody what they were doing. They said they were chasing dumpster permits, and I finally was like, yeah, this is dumb. So, all right, so who's gonna give us these? This company now or
Yeah,
BFI?
it's Lawrence Waste Services.
Okay, so they're gonna pay us the permit fees for
Yep.
the units they picked up?
They already have, actually.
Yep, I'm good with it then.
Yeah, I don't have anything extra either.
I'm good with it, they have all everything in what we need.
All right, I'll make a motion that we approve Lawrence Waste Services to be a commercial trash hauler in the town of Lakeville.
Second?
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Next on the agenda is Ease Ice Cream and More, temporary one-day event, Angers Conway Farm Festival, 33 Southwest Street, September 23rd, 2023, pending inspection.
Yeah, so I do have to do an inspection tomorrow. We don't actually inspect ice cream trucks. Usually if you're licensed in a town, you're welcome to work in the rest of the state. This particular one also sells hot dogs, so because he sells hot dogs, we had to do an inspection. That was all.
Is he bringing the truck here for you to look at, or you gotta
Yeah,
go look
no,
at it?
he's actually going to Ted Williams tomorrow to look at
Okay.
him there. You guys, welcome to come.
Now, is there any other people looking that didn't get in on time?
Yeah, well, there's actually a couple fall festivals coming up where people are calling us at the last minute. There's also the Arts Festival the following week on the 30th, where people want to do a one day as well, and you won't have another meeting in time. So, you know, I was going to ask the board, can I approve some of these one day permits, because like I said, they're coming in just too late, and you know, you really have to do it about 3 weeks ahead of time to do that, and they're just not doing that. This particular one he got everything in order, but some of them aren't, so I just.
If you can coordinate it and inspect it in time, I'm okay with you approving it.
Okay.
Yeah, and
I agree.
I'm the same, yeah. We'll probably should make a motion on that also.
Yeah.
We approve Ed to do that.
Yeah, again, as long as you inspect it, I'm okay.
And they have all the required permits, obviously, that they need to do it. Not permits, but
Yeah, just the
All
one
the
day.
paperwork filed.
all the paperwork, yeah. Yeah, the safe serve and,
All right, I'll give this one a shot. I'll make a motion that we allow Ed to do one day permits as long for, is that food establishment?
Yes.
For food establishment, for one day events, as long as they've given him enough time to do an inspection and make sure that they have all their current licenses and insurance.
second.
Did I miss anything?
Will that cover this Ease Ice Cream?
No, you'll have to do that separately.
Okay, so we'll approve.
Yeah,
the
because that's
second.
on the agenda.
Okay. Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, now I'll make a motion to approve Ease Ice Cream for a one-day event at Conway Farms on September 23rd, 2023,
Second.
pending the inspection.
Second.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Alright, next on the agenda is review and approve meeting minutes for July 19th, 2023.
Only you and I were present at that meeting, Bob, you were not here.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
I'm good with it. Did you, I read through all of it.
I will make a motion, we approve the Town of Lakeville Board of Health meeting minutes dated June 19th, 2023 as typed.
A second?
More discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'll abstain, I wasn't there.
Next on the agenda is continued discussion from September 6th regarding changes to the Lakeville Board of Health regulations pertaining to subsurface disposal systems and water. So Ed, you had written up some notes from this, right?
Yeah, basically, we had a reg, it was reg 20 in our, bylaw, not a bylaw, in our, septic regulations. Where if we had 3 abutting wells, you had to do denitrification. Basically, I just changed it to say, okay, if you didn't meet the 440 per gallons per day and you had 1 well, then you would have to do it. But what I left, which is what I liked about the reg, was all the information you're supposed to provide. So if you don't want to adhere to this, you would provide that information and give it to the board, and then the board can grant a waiver. So actually at the end of it, it says any proposed plan without sufficient information will most likely not be granted, but each situation is under the discretion of the Board of Health. So the Board of Health always has the right to waive this. We ask that the engineer bring in this information, so we have the information to waive it, but if the situation is such that, you know, it's rather obvious, then the board could just waive it as well.
And I think in that wording, does it say it may require or it does require? I think it says on that one, if you have 3 or more abutting wells, it may require. I don't have that printed.
Which part of it?
The old reg?
The old reg,
Okay.
under the wells, it says if you have 3 or more affected wells, it may require, or just does it say it does require?
In this one, it says site would require.
Would require,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that wasn't optional. If you had 3, you had to do it.
The only one I'm leaning with on this one is, I kind of have a problem with, it says any well within 100, correct? What?
Yeah, it says
Thinking,
within 100 feet of a well.
I was thinking more of any abutter well within 100, not the property that was doing the repair. Just because on that property, if they already have a well that's high in nitrates, we're gonna make them put in a water treatment system anyway. And instead of making them put in a denite if they're 95 feet from their own well, when they're already gonna have to put a water treatment system in anyway, we have more leeway on if it's the actual property's well. The abutters, I get, they can't make the abutters do anything, and
Yeah.
if you're within 100, I think we should have a denite system. But just to say any well, and again, if we're going with that 20,000 square foot or the 440, I don't think you're gonna have too many come up anyway, because they're all gonna be undersized. You're gonna have too many bedrooms.
Yeah,
gonna
if
fall
you're above
under
the 440,
You're gonna
be
fall
outside
under
the
that
100.
anyway, so you,
Yeah.
I don't really think we're missing many. But that was just a thought I had.
No, that makes sense, right? Because, yeah, we can make them
Put in a
put a
treatment, we
treatment
can
on
make them
their
put
own
something on
lot.
the
We can't make
deed,
the neighbors, so.
that there's a treatment system that must be because your well was high. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't,
Only, yeah, because would you want both? Just because it's gonna improve, you know, they'll stop the well from getting worse.
Right.
And then you're also treating the water.
but putting
when
this
it's
new
existing.
system in, that system was probably in the water table, totally submerged for how many years? Now you're gonna make them be 4 feet above it with a new system. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, it just depends how far you wanna do it.
I think that's one of the reasons why you can waive it. So if that situation came up, you can say, okay, just waive it, or you can just actually put it in there. So it's automatic that, you know, it only the abut as well. But either way, you could work around it. Like I said, if it was just the,
Well, if it's only their own well and it's not contaminated with a cesspool, then we have to assume that it won't get contaminated with a working septic system, so. Right, if that's testing okay.
I'm hoping these are perfect examples that would drive to some of the newer technology stuff that's out there, it's a little bit cheaper, that maybe people are willing to roll the dice on some of that stuff. I mean, it would be nice to have more people doing it. I know we brought it up a bunch of times, the newer stuff that's out there, but it'd be great to see some of it actually in action, and so we have, knowledge that stuff works.
Is any of it approved yet, though? Is it also
Yeah.
trials?
No, now that the drip system I believe is already approved.
That, it's approved, it's not approved as a D-night though. Is it?
That's a leaching apparatus. You need treatment before that to get the D-night, like I
Yeah.
understand. So that's just a different type
But,
of
but
leaching.
it's a great point, because
Right.
it does provide denitrification, but it's not approved as a D-night under DEP, so and that would be
True.
something like, okay, if you did this, the board could say, okay, you're doing something for denitrification, even though it's not approved under DEP, and the board could waive it in that situation, I think.
My understanding is right now you have kind of like the big three. You've got a fast, single layer, and a Ranco, for pre-treatment.
And that's
those,
it.
those are the big three companies that have the denitrification that we see. So,
Well, then there's that pilot program too for the tanks with the chips and
That's in
limestone.
That's provisional approval right
Yeah.
now, so it's not general.
no question with what they're doing down the Cape, there's probably going to be more technologies coming. There's going to have to be.
Uh,
But yeah, I went down to the testing center in Barnstable, and there was all kinds of stuff, and that drip stuff, like the grass they had out there was nice and green and lush, and it's been installed on the ground there for a while, and no problems with it freezing that I could say. So I don't know, but you're saving money on the field, right? So you say extra money you spend, it probably goes into the D-night in the tank instead.
But it's another one, like a gray water system, it's not approved as a D-night. Although it does great, very low reduction, but it's not approved as a D-night, it's yeah.
It's not
Right. That's the other thing too, is what's out there we haven't even heard of, and the state's gonna have to get more, probably have to start approving these things, or maybe authorize them for more applications where they're pushing the regulation. They gotta be able to push more stuff, more options out there, right? I would hope.
Well, I think that's kind of what I was trying to go with the reg, like it gives you guys a lot of leeway. Like you can pretty much approve anything, even if they don't provide all that information, you guys can still say, well, he's doing something, so, we're gonna do it, or the situation isn't so bad, so we can just waive it. So, I think to me, that's one of the more important factors. So, because like I said, there are so many different situations, like you're pointing to, where you're doing something, but it's not an approved D-night, and like that. So, and like I said, there are a lot of situations where, like I said, you're 98 feet from the well, and it's really not high in nitrates, but do you have to do it, So, in those situations, you could always waive it, yes.
So would we leave the 3 wells no matter what, and then add this to it, or would we get rid of that and change this to cover the 3 wells?
Well, he was saying just do one abutting well,
Okay.
rather than 3, because
One abutting that's not your own.
Any abutting, any abut as well.
Okay.
That's what I like you said, if you really want to say any well,
Well, as long
but
as
I think the 20, like I said, the 40,000 square foot rule is gonna factor into the wells on their lot.
No, I agree.
Because it's gonna catch everybody else in these 5,000 square foot lots of 10. So they're gonna have to do T-night anyway, even though they don't have a well. If they're tied into municipal water, they're still gonna have to do the D-night, because they don't need nitrogen load.
That makes sense to me.
I don't know if you wanna ask anybody if they have any input on
Yeah.
what
You
we're
guys have
looking
anything?
to do, or?
I think, Jamie, you've been here for one of these already, right? When we just discussed it.
I've done several.
Well, I'm saying the discussion about this.
I don't know.
No, he's never been.
Yeah.
Oh,
Will was here
Oh,
for
you-
one,
Will was here for one, and Darren was here. That was
and Brad was here too.
Yeah. And, when I went to that training, Darren ended up being the same training.
I don't have a problem with what you guys are talking about myself.
It's just the right thing to do.
I mean, it makes sense. The only thing that gives me, and it's not even, the only thing that gives me a little bit of pause is 2 things. One is, I have a feeling because of the Cape Cod situation, the cost is going to go up because demand is going to go up. But it is what it is. The other one is the town, are we gonna like get involved with like, what is it, Bristol County has like a tracking program for the operation and maintenance?
Yeah, as of right now, we are thinking about that. There's a one down the Cape, the Buzzards Bay, they call them MREs. That would be something we're looking into, but there's no definite answer. I think it would be a good idea. It would really help out homeowners because, like I said, for some homeowners, it is kind of laborious and they really don't have the experience to know what's going on. But
I think these guys know, and you do too, the fast system, you can unplug the blower. And, you know, so you leave, they unplug it, you know, and that happens with some of these systems. But if you have the constant O&M, you're getting the purpose that you want, and it's not burdening the Board of Health with chasing people. So I think.
So you're talking about, they were talking about inspections or like the MRM where there's like an entity that runs like a utility?
yeah, they all kind of, it's more of like, they're thinking of setting up like a giant spreadsheet where like it's all being monitored and we're not doing it. So like right now we're doing it. And so like something comes in but honestly, what we're doing is we're kind of like going back and saying, you know, when a Title V comes in, you know, I'm looking back and I'm seeing, well, has this been monitored? And a lot of times I'm finding it's not, you know, so it's more of like after the fact, you know, whereas this would be more up to date, like, hey, someone missed their, you know, regular maintenance, you know, and things like that. So that would be more proactive and it would keep most of these systems working better because like Jamie said, if you unplug the fast, it's, you're not really getting anything anymore.
I mean, it's probably a good idea because I know when we started trying to keep track of the tight tanks, and that started adding a ton of stuff to you guys down there. And that was just to try to make sure that they were having them pumped regularly and making sure, you know.
Yeah, did the annual inspections. They used to be 4 times a year, and we changed that because that was just crazy.
But, you know, but yes.
4 times a year for a tight tank, really? Wow.
So we had, we changed
But
that
now you
on the
start
board.
adding these.
Well, we had less then. We added more.
Now we changed it to 1 year.
And that's the other thing with DNAT, so it's on the general approval, it's for the first year, it's 4 inspections with testing the first year, and then 2 a year after that, going forward. So, I don't know, that's DEP's mandate, at least on the fast. I read that today, so I mean, it's probably $1,000 that first year, maybe a little bit more in inspections and testing. I don't know if there's any way to get leeway on a repair, you know, because it's a local thing.
And there's no way as a board we could change that because that's from DEP to say we only want it once a year to try to save.
So we can't make we can't go less than state. We
Well,
can add more to
a lot of
state.
that's fast too, that want it, you know, monitored as well, you know, so, you know, I don't think we can, you know, tell fast how.
Okay, so that's staying.
But I mean, if it's $1,000 though, it's something we could look at, that we could, if like somebody needs a betterment because they don't have the money and they're not gonna have the $1,000 the first year, maybe we can work out a way to add that onto their betterment when they come in, so we know it's gonna get done. You know what I mean? Like send them, make that part of their betterment, like we give them another $1,000, we ship it right off to them and make sure the first year it's all kept up on. Something to think about anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's no limit on the betterment, right? Most of them
No.
get the engineering involved and everything, right? I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's whatever we okay.
Yeah, especially for the first year, like you could definitely probably include that, you know.
If they didn't
You
have.
know, we should, the new tax stuff too, we should make sure we're putting that out there more often, right?
Because that increased, right?
Yeah, it
Tax
increased.
rebates.
Yeah, it went way up.
And then we've said already before, obviously with the D-Night system, you get 50% reduction in size.
Yeah, so you
So
get a
you get a
benefit.
savings on how big the field is and sand and materials, so hopefully that'll cut some of the cost of the system, the D-Night tank itself. But I think we've talked about it for.
How about you guys, get anything? You've been here for all of them.
Sounds good.
You like it? All right.
So you guys like the wording? Anything we should
Wait,
Other
schedule?
than a butter.
With his change, yeah.
Any of butter,
That's fine.
any of butter as well. But I think we were still gonna send it to town
Oh,
council
right.
Yeah, we're
for
gonna send
their
it to
opinion
council.
and
Yeah, so we should,
review.
Once we,
so we should vote to send it to Copeland and Page with that change and then if we get it back from them, there's no sense in voting on making it a reg, because if something gets changed, we have to start all over again, so we should just send it to Copeland and Page now, continue it till whenever we hear back from them. Because if we approve it now, then we have to start all over again, opening the hearing, because we can't change it,
Yeah,
so.
we gotta do it at a public meeting too.
Yeah, yeah, but we won't schedule that until we get back from Copeland and
Right,
Page.
okay.
All right, so I'll make a motion, we send that off to Copeland and Page with the only change being a butter as well. And continue it to our next meeting after we get that, draft back from them.
Second?
Any more discussion? All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Alright,
Evening.
next on the agenda was,
There is.
Board of Health agent pending items.
Pending items, the COA, as well as the Board of Health, are doing a flu clinic on, September 29th. It's a Friday, between 10 and 1. You can sign up at the COA. There's also a link on the Board of Health website, if you're interested in that as well. Should I give the, also for the, update on Triple E? There's now been 12 mosquito samples that have tested positive for Triple E. Still no human cases. They're all in southern Worcester County, so they're not right around here. For West Nile, there's been 138 mosquitoes testing positive, but only 3 humans. But they did detect it in Freetown just the other day. So that's mosquito, not a person. So it's been tested, several have been tested in Middleborough and as well in Freetown for West Nile, but there's been no Triple E so far.
Right, and COVID's going back up again too.
Yep, so on the COVID, well, one thing, the government just announced on September 25th, you will be able to get 4 tests for free, the way they used to do it before, whereas you just go on the website and they mail it to you completely free. That will start on September 25th. The website is covidtests.gov. We're also going to have a link on our website. If anyone's interested there, we'll take you directly to the site. But for whatever reason, you can't do it till September 25th is when it's active, but they're advertising it now.
The
And
new
then-
shots are out.
Yep, new shots are out
They're
as well.
way stronger than they were.
Oh, they are?
I got one Monday. I was sick all day yesterday.
Well, your immune system's that much better. That's good.
Well, I got COVID and flu at the same time, which probably was, long story, but I'm on immune suppressants. I never got reaction, so they took me off of them before this shot. It was not good, so.
It is good though, because it means your immune
Means you-
system.
Yeah, it means I got a reaction, which is good, but,
Because that's what they want, right?
yeah, 2:30 Monday night, I wasn't feeling it, too great about it, but yeah, so they're out there now, and it's probably a good idea.
Yeah, and schools is probably driving the numbers up the most too. I know my daughter got it first weekend back at college, and I've heard a bunch of my coworkers, their kids move back to school. It's like rampant on this campus because you know where you are too, whether there's any. I mean, I know friends in other states, and they said they're not doing anything. They're letting kids go to school with it. Like they're not doing anything to stop it. So, I did hear that in Alabama they were talking about masking kids again because there was so many kids out of school.
That'll never happen.
But I thought that was amazing to hear that from down there.
Well, from
so.
Alabama, yeah, because you'd expect that from Massa, California, not
Right.
Alabama, so.
But yeah, that's like because you hear it's getting bigger, but I mean the most it's because of everyone going back to school is a big part of it. I think.
Actually, what I read yesterday was they said it was, it's already started, this wave's already started leveling off, they said, so hopefully it doesn't get any worse.
And it is, not as strong as the older ones, too. From what
You mean the severity of it?
the severity of it is not the same.
Yeah, no, it's not any more severe than
Yeah.
previous ones.
And there's immunity built up in the community from different boosters and other stuff like that. So, from just having it.
Just get your shots on Friday, so.
Just for some numbers, so right now they got about 400 people in the hospital in Massachusetts, whereas back in July we had about 100. So like what you're talking about, there's definitely been an increase. But just for comparison, like last winter we had about 1,300. So we're well below that number, and then you look at the worst of pandemic, we had close to 4,000 people in the hospital, so we're well below that. So like I said, it is increasing, but just put it in perspective.
Okay. And before you move on to the last thing, I'm gonna recuse myself because it's about me. So you guys have fun.
All right.
Alright, thanks, Bob.
Are you coming back to close?
Yeah, they can't talk about me in my
Okay.
face, they gotta talk about me behind my back. I
Alright,
don't believe in not to return.
Not to return.
The phrases I'm supposed to do.
Okay.
next on the agenda is, the back 9, 17 Heritage Hill, change of ownership for an existing food establishment and milk and cream license. Ed?
Yeah, so usually with change in ownerships, it's a more simpler one because it's the same staff. None of the staff has changed. They all have the certifications already. It was recently inspected in May. There's no issues. So it's basically just getting the new owner's paperwork in order because you have different insurance companies, different workman comps and things like that. And we've received all that. So, and the reason, the only thing, this is ahead of time, so the new owner won't actually take ownership until after the sale, which isn't for a week or so. So right now it's still under the ownership, and then once you guys give the approval, then it would just go automatically to the new owner, like since all the paperwork and everything is in order, and like I said, the staff is the same as well.
And that's so they can stay open permanently.
Right, so otherwise they would have to wait, they would close for a week until we had a meeting, and then we would, approve them at the meeting. So rather than closing a restaurant for a week, we're just kind of giving the approval ahead of time.
And does that require another inspection where it's changing or no?
Yeah, well, we do 2 inspections anyways, and we just did one in May, so we'll do another one probably in
another one this
October.
fall.
Yeah. So once the new owner gets in there, we'll have to do a new inspection. But we, like I said, we have to do 2 anyways, so it's not really an extra one.
Okay. I looked through the paperwork. I didn't see anything. Everything was there that we needed.
Yeah, it looks good to me.
Anybody speak on it?
So,
You gonna make it or you want to?
you know that Bob bought it, so that's why. Doesn't matter to me. I can do this one, I guess.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the food establishment and milk and cream license for the new the change of ownership at the Back 9 Club at 17 Heritage Hill Road, Lakeville.
Second?
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that is it on the agenda.
Any other business?
You got anything?
I don't have anything.
I don't have anything.
We have a hand raised.
Is there anything new on the letters going out for the septics that are past the 2 years?
Yeah, what we decided at the last meeting, and Bob had suggested that, we used the condemnation thing. So we did send out new letters to those people, and in the wording, we said, if you don't give us the information or do what you're supposed to do, then your house is at risk of being condemned. That wasn't in the letter before. It was just, I think we may have threatened fines, but this is condemnation, which is what was decided by the board.
And I believe we have 2 of these that we're dealing with.
Yeah, there's 2 that are concerning, that are considered a health risk, I guess, or greater concern.
Okay. And we didn't find them, right? We just said.
No, we just sent the new letter threatening the condemnation.
Did they have so many, is there a time frame to respond to us?
Yeah, usually we give them at least a month or so.
30 days to respond.
And when we did it by certified mail as well, that was the other thing, difference, whereas we're sure we're getting it back.
Okay.
Yeah, at the very least, they can come in here and talk to us and we can
Yeah.
weigh our options and talk
And
about the
that
different things
was
we can
part
do
of
to
the
help them
letter.
out.
Yeah, offer a betterment or.
Betterment, the
Is there a
new
time
tax
frame to do
deduction
it?
and stuff.
Yeah. That was actually part of the old letter that you could always, if you have any reason for not doing this, you can come to the board. That was part of the old letter and it's part of the new letter, but just the new letter now threatens condemnation is the main difference.
Yeah.
And I think you said one of them you think is vacant, or nobody living there, or seasonal, so they're gone.
It's seasonal, but they
Still
probably
needs to
did
be
use it
fixed.
this summer. They actually have a porta potty out there. So I think they know it's failed, so they use the porta potty instead, which, if they just use a porta potty, I wouldn't really have an issue with it, but you don't know if they're just using the toilet until it overflows, and then they use the porta potty, and then in that situation, that wouldn't be a good thing.
All right, I am good.
There's nothing else? Good, make a motion to adjourn?
Second,
All those in
all those
favor?
in favor? Aye.
Aye.